الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Over the next 3 nights, I want to talk about a few topics. The first one, which is tonight's topic, has to do with making the most of Ramadan in passing on the faith to the next generation. For those of you who have children, young children, middle school children, high school kids, even college age kids, there are a few tips and techniques that I want to share with you that are effective in helping to make Islam meaningful and relevant to young people and to your kids, to the next generation. The first thing is that we have to do as parents is create a culture of the home in which prayer is at the heart. And in order to do that, it's important to make yourselves pray regularly, but also to create a culture around prayer that is beautiful, that isn't tension-filled, that doesn't involve any upset feelings or emotional pressure, but is one that approaches prayer with a calm and a peace and a tranquility that makes the experience positive for both you and for your children. The second thing is, after the prayer, this is kind of the golden moment where you have a few minutes. Oftentimes we do the tasbih, we do dua individually, and then people kind of disperse, members of the family disperse. However, if you take a moment after the prayer, before the tasbih and the sunnah prayers and the individual dua, to reclaim the lost art of dua and do so collectively as a family, this will be a great teaching moment for your children. And here's what I mean. If you model for your children how to connect to God in English so that they can understand, I venture to guess most of your children do not speak Fusha, Quranic Arabic, and might not understand and appreciate every aspect of prayer in its detail, and so sometimes go through the motion, but that's something to work on. In the meantime, if you can model for them how to express your hope and aspirations through dua, your appreciation for all the blessings that Allah has given you, and to ask Allah what it is that you're most in need of in terms of working on yourself, in terms of assistance for your family, in terms of your aspirations for the world and society at large. This is a beautiful way to make every prayer meaningful. And if you do that, and this is the important part, you take turns so that each member of your family does that as well. Not just the imam, but every single person in the family takes a turn and makes a dua. And for my 4 children, what I did is kind of give them also a little bit of a formula to make it easy for them, so that they're not saying the same thing every time, and it's not just a memorized dua from the prophetic tradition in Arabic, but we're taking the spirit of the prophetic idea of making dua and implementing it in a way that is specific to our time and place and our individual and idiosyncratic needs. And so I have our children say something that they're grateful for, so express appreciation, which is what Ramadan is all about, and is what the advice in Luqman, Surah Luqman, that's the advice he gives to his son, or that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him to be grateful to God and to his parents, but to be grateful in general. Number 2, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help in something that you're working on for yourself. And number 3, it's to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever you want in the world. You want there to be world peace, you want there to be an end to injustice here and abroad. All of those things, this is the opportunity. And you'll inspire your children through what you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they'll also inspire you. This is the first trick to passing on the faith effectively to the next generation. Make prayer meaningful, and in part, reclaim the lost art of dua. The second tip is to make meal times and during Ramadan, iftar times, very special by having a conversation. Turn off all media. Phones are not allowed. Television should not be on. International news should be shut off. And you should just focus on having a conversation. And sometimes it's difficult when you have children to get them to talk about their day. If you say, "What did you study today?" they usually just kind of grunt. But if you have a prepared topic and you speak about, for example, what was the best thing that happened to you today? What is the worst thing that happened to you today, or the most challenging thing? And you yourself then also offer a story or two, and your spouse does as well. And the children will want to tell stories and share and participate. And this is an opportunity to really form a bond with your children and channels of communication, which you will need especially as they grow on into middle school and high school. The third and final tip is to make your home the party central for your children. And what I mean by that is make your home the place where your children can invite their friends to spend time outside of school. And of course, we're looking forward to a post-pandemic age in which we can do this safely. But in general, what you want to do is have your home make your home an inviting and welcoming place filled with wonderful food, which I'm sure it is. And this gives an opportunity for you to help your children choose their friends. Now, you might want your children to only have Muslim friends, but it's also important for your children to learn how to make friends with everybody, and to make your home a place where non-Muslims can also attend or can also come and visit and feel welcome. And this will help your child psychologically, sociologically, with their identity formation, because it'll help bridge the gap between their Muslim identity and their American identity. And by making your home a place where those two worlds can come together seamlessly, you will be gifting your children something invaluable. You will help them be a whole, integrated person who doesn't have a split psychology or personality, where they're Muslimi at home and then hide their Islam at school or in public. Let your children's friends see you guys pray together as a family. Let them taste the wonderful food. Let them participate in the wonderful conversations over meal. It will really be the biggest impact that you can have on your children as they go on into middle school and high school, because your role as a parent decreases the older they get, but the role of their friends and the impact of their friends increases. And so through helping them choose good friends, you are continuing to influence them positively as they grow on into their college years, in which they will be individuated and be making decisions entirely or almost entirely for themselves, but they'll be prepared to do so. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
صل وسلم دائما